And and I guess that's where what I'm experiencing today, because I am trying to get someone to embrace these ideas. And anyway, the one who I thought would be receptive, she just said it was crap, and I feel very sad that is the experience.
Been there, done that. Had the same response.
Bought the t-shirt.
Had the same response and the same feeling.
Yeah.
And that's the lesson. People will learn this when they want to. And I thought in the beginning I could persuade them because it's so fantastic that it would persuade themselves. It would, and I came to understand that is not how it works. It's like we really have no power over who wants to learn this and who doesn't. We have to just follow guidance every day and give it up because it just didn't work. I tried a long time and realized finally that it wasn't a failure on my part. It was that people have to be free to live their life the way they want to live it and to believe what they want. And in trying to convince them through even good intentions, I was in a subtle way telling them what to do. And that's not my job. And I didn't realize that's what I was doing. But when I started to get that, now I'm more sensitive to, if I begin to speak about this, if I hit resistance, I just stop. I only talk where it looks like someone's calling for it, pulling it out of me. Just saves you trouble.
Yeah.
So, it's the Bible verse, don't cast pearls before swine. And it doesn't mean that people are swine. It's just the idea that when someone doesn't want to see that this is a pearl, they'll think it's nothing and they'll squish it in the dirt because it looks like crap, but it's a pearl. So don't throw pearls to people who are going to see it as crap, because they'll turn around and rend you, is what the Bible says, because they don't want that pearl. What did you throw it in here for? It's crap. Even though it's a pearl. So it's the whole idea. You have to be sensitive with the help of the guidance of the Holy Spirit who you introduce this information to. Just the way it is.
Yeah, I think I forgot that part.
I did it for
Somehow
years.
I didn't want to get the Holy Spirit going in this. I was...
Well, and one of the reasons, and this is the way I felt, is I wanted company. I'm like really excited about this. I want someone to come with me.
Yeah.
So that was my motivation. It's like, gosh, isn't this great? We can do this together. This is so much fun. We can talk about it. It'll be interesting. It's so wonderful. It's like, no.
Yeah.
I want to talk about what I want to talk about. What you want to talk about is really of no consequence to me. Okay.
And the thing is, it's really logical.
I know.
I think it's so logical. Yeah.
And so that's one of the things where I really thought the logic
Yeah.
would break through. To people, so I would continue to build logical arguments, and then I realized when someone doesn't want to hear, they can't hear it
Okay.
because they don't want to. It has a lot to do with want and desire, and so that's why this can be perfect. It's the idea if you've got ears to hear, you hear it, and if you don't, that's the idea of desire. They don't want to hear this, they don't want to hear this.
Yeah, and I just had I think, I don't think I know exactly that I did it out of a sincere desire that this could be a healing force in our family.
And you want to remember,
I didn't even ask for it.
And you want to remember, the family is one of the major places where this kind of thing happens when you start the journey, because of course you want to share it with your family. Your family is important to you. You're thinking that they're going to be receptive. They're the least receptive in my experience.
Even Jesus' family said he could do no great works in Nazareth. It's like,
Even his family.
oh, that's just Jesus.
They wanted him to stop talking. They thought he was crazy because he was embarrassing them. He was saying things that didn't make any sense. And so you understand, Jesus couldn't even. And the reason is because you've got...
Yeah, but at the same time, they asked him to make the wine, with the wedding. That's another little... it's kind of a grievance that I'm holding. I get asked for prayer. You know what I mean? They want to say stuff like that and then ask for... So I gladly give it. that's not it, but there's a part of me that's a little pissed about that.
I understand. I had that feeling too. Now,
So, okay,
now
so-
my and finally let it go through my
Yeah.
understanding that they have to be free to do what they want to do.
No, my little controlling person.
And if this is the
really
point,
wanna
this is a
control.
freedom that I never knew I was supposed to learn to give. They have to be free to suffer as long as they want to.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the point, because the longer you're in the dream, the less that you know about the truth of who you are, the more you have fear, the more you have anger, the more you have anxiety, so you're suffering. And I'm thinking, this is releasing me from suffering, I want to help release him from suffering, but I found out that actually, I don't have a right to do that.
Right.
That's not freedom. They have to be free, and they'll never wake up without that freedom. And so I think that's why our family members are probably our biggest lesson, is to understand we were always free to suffer too.
Mm-hmm.
We are not guilty because we chose to suffer
Right.
for, let's say, lifetimes, because giving that, whatever you give, you receive. And I started to realize, oh, obviously I'm saying they're guilty if they want to suffer. If I'm saying they don't have the right to, I'm teaching guilt.
Oh,
That's good.
okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I was teaching myself the same thing. All my
Oh.
suffering meant I was guilty because I wasn't refusing to listen. But the truth is, no, I was not guilty. I was just delusional, and I get to be as delusional as long as I want without ever suffering condemnation or guilt. So remember that, but that took me a while, years, to finally sift through it all and realize, wait a minute, no wonder this isn't right. I'm teaching them they're guilty to stay and suffer. And they're not. And I wasn't either in all my suffering. I just was confused. I wouldn't have chosen it in my right mind, right? So these are all lessons.
You could say the Course in Miracles is mind training to lead one out of the false beliefs of pain, suffering, and death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what it is, and guilt.
Right.
And
Guilt,
so,
yeah.
and all these little
Yeah,
subtle,
pull that one.
How did I forget that?
that's where the pain, suffering, and death came from. Because that's what we get if we're guilty. But anyway, that's just one, that's how every step along the way it's been. I look for, okay, somehow I'm teaching guilt somehow, or this wouldn't be disturbing me, but it was confusing to see my teaching guilt when my sincere desire was to share truth. And then I finally started to get it. That's why I wait now for someone to ask, because otherwise they don't have the freedom. And it's kind of tricky in the beginning because you're so excited. I was so excited, and you know me, I got a big mouth, so I caused so much trouble. You have no idea. I mean, I've got people that still hate me because of what I did. I have to leave town. I gotta get out of here before they come and shoot me. No, I'm only kidding. I'll try another town and see if I can piss off people there.
Maybe that's why Jesus kept moving around,
Yeah.
I think it did. They can only handle so much, and then you go over their threshold, and it's like, whoop, better get out of here
Yeah.
fast.
And he learned to just move in
Right.
and out of the crowds. I thought that was amazing that so many gathered to hear him, and yet he would be able to go in and out of crowds that, like.
And remember that story too. And this is really true. As you have the truth is threatening to the ego thought system. It feels like an attack. So you have to be sensitive. Remember, he didn't totally say everything he knew to big crowds. He talked in parables. He would watch. He would know there were people there that are trying to confound him and were trying to, find things he was saying that was wrong so they could turn him over to the authorities. So he was always careful to answer the questions in a way that was open-ended, because he knew there was reason he had to do that. And then he only talked to his disciples about the real details. Remember? Because he said they wouldn't understand. I'm giving them truths that they can apply, and they can harvest these parables depending on their level of desire. But I'm not giving it straight because it'll confuse them and frighten them, right? So there's a certain level of that kind of training as you go and share this that you begin to realize. And it's tricky, huh? Yeah.